So you might read a lot of articles. You might think that every business school professor is doing fraudulent work and they are cheating the system. I'm going to tell you why that is the case. I'm actually a business school professor. And then how can we actually change this? What might that actually look like? So if you don't know me, I'm Professor Dave Massack. I'm an Associate Professor of Innovation. And I created this whole reciprocity project to give back. You're going to leave me right now because I'm going to tell you that it's freaking hard to actually do research. I want you to remember that the whole thing, it's really hard to look and discover the world. We have two sides of the coin, right? We have the the supply side, I guess, where it should be on that side. The supply side is that business school professors and researchers and PhD students are trying to do the best that they possibly can. They interact with the world, they go and try to get data, and they realize it's freaking hard. It is really, really hard to actually get legitimate data. And then they get stuck. And the number of times that PhDs cry is actually spectacularly high. Almost everybody will if you go and you do it and cry like you are desperate, right? And then that's on the other side, is that there is this incentive system within the university system that only rewards outputs. And I'm not sort of calling out my university. This is true of all universities now. We have a system that only rewards the output, not what's going in, but everything that's coming out. And they don't care about what's going in, right? Like that's how the university system is set up. And that's set up, that's beyond sort of professors and all that kind of stuff. That's set up at institutional levels. That's set up at a really, really high level. And they think that it sort of works really easy. You just have to incentivize people more. And so what happens is that the pay gets higher for people to stay in it. But at the same time, the difficulty of it does not change. It's extraordinarily difficult to look at data. I want you to go try that today. You're not going to, because you're going to say it's too hard. And that is the point. It is hard to go and look for data and to go find something and discover something. It is extraordinarily difficult to do. And so we're faced with these sort of two sides of it, where nobody gives a crap on what goes on in the inside. And then on here, it's extraordinarily difficult, and you have this desperation because you need to get a job. And it's very, very easy to think about all of the ways you need to get a job, you need to get tenure, or else you're going to uproot your family. And that happens a lot. You need to do all of these things in order to have stability in your life as a professor, as a researcher, as a scholar. And there's lots of people that will not only say if you are not producing enough, they'll tell you, the whole industry will tell you that you are a failure, to say that you are not that good if you're not producing enough. The whole industry, it will, right? Like that's what happens. This is how the structure is set up. It's a lot like, imagine, there's great analogies if you're thinking like Wall Street, where if you are not a producer, there's this great video. I want you to go look it up. There's this video by John Bogle, who I don't think he's alive anymore, but he created Vanguard. And he went, I think it was like 72 months of losses when he first opened up the Vanguard fund. 72 months is a long time. That's a long, long time of losses where everybody in the entire industry is telling you that you are stupid. Vanguard Funds now is the largest mutual index fund company in the world. But you have to be able to withstand that, right? Where the whole industry is saying that you are stupid, you're silly, you're doing the wrong thing, all of those things. So how do we change this, right? We have this weird incentive structure where the more that you produce, the more money you get, and the rewards can be spectacularly high if you're good at it. Like spectacularly high. Like more than you'd ever imagine high, right? Like just stupid. But everybody is vying for that spot. It's just like in the NFL. It's like any of those kind of things where, man, if you become a college coach, football coach, and they're making millions of dollars a year, don't you think there's lots of people vying for it and they would do what it takes to actually get there? What do we do to change this? I think the answer is nothing to do with institutions. They're going to do their thing. We're not going to change any of that kind of stuff. But for me, this is why I got involved with the whole reciprocity project, is I think we need to really think about us and change us one little step at a time. I'm trying to create a platform to create non-rejectable research papers and grants. What does that look like? You walk people through step by step by step by step by step. Little tiny little bits. That's what the whole reciprocity, that's how I got into it. Until you actually build something that is like, oh, we actually know how to actually get there, right? We know that track to remove all of the anxiety and that terrible feeling that you have, that desperation that you often have. But that's a big thing. In the meantime, what can we do is we can work on us, where we walk the walk, where we're quiet, confident inside, where we simply say, I don't care what you think. I don't care what the outside world thinks. I can walk the walk, and I'm going to have confidence with what I am actually going to do. And I'm not going to fall prey to all of those things. I could slow down and do some data analysis that's going to be really slow, and the whole world's going to think that I'm really stupid. The whole world's going to think that I'm a failure. And what am I doing? I'm a pathetic loser. But I'm going to walk that walk because I know that that is the right thing to do. And you're listening to this, and those of you who are in this are going to say, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. I go through this every single day where I have to push back and say, I'm going to walk slowly. I'm going to try to do the best I possibly can. And I'm going to encourage other people every day to do this. Doing this video right now, this whole thing, this whole reciprocity project, it is going against the culture dramatically. You have no idea how much dramatically it goes. I should not be wasting my time talking to you right now. That's a waste of money and resources. I should not be actually encouraging other people to slow down. Ooh, what's he doing? That's dangerous. He's slowing the thing down. All of this stuff, it's very difficult for me to end up finding people to work with. Because this is I'm being vulnerable. I'm setting boundaries where I say, you know what, let's just go about this slowly. Let's still try to do discovery. Discovery is messy. It's hard to do. You're going to get a tremendous amount of dead ends. And by the way, we've been talking about this for like 30 or 40 years. This is not a new thing. Look up, Jacob Cohen has been talking about this. There's a famous paper, I think, from the late 1980s talking about this. This is not new. None of this is. It's just becoming in the news, right? So what do? We focus on building a stability where we don't care about the outside world so much. I know it's super hard, but those people are eating popcorn and watching it. They're actually not practicing it. That's like John Bogle when he was creating Vanguard. Everybody was sitting there watching. Now, can you imagine how much pressure he was feeling when he had all of these investment dollars that were going on? But you walk the walk and you go slowly, steadily, until you actually create something that is rewarding and amazing. And you may never get there. That's the thing. John Bogle took a risk. You're going to take a risk and it's going to be a nightmare for you. So what? Right? That's okay. You can go and you can leave the industry. You can go and do all sorts of things. You're an incredibly wonderful person. So that's how we fix it. is knowing that you have options. That desperation that you feel, who cares? You can go someplace else. Nobody's going to think of you as a failure. And if they do, you give them the middle finger. Truly. You just keep walking, doing your thing, knowing that you're a good person and that you are actually doing the right thing at this given moment by doing good, credible work. And that's it. You have that steady feeling inside. And then as you go about things, know that because you're an incredibly talented human being, you can go anywhere. And you can. And when you have that feeling inside that you can do this and you don't have to fall prey to all of that stuff, then it changes. And I'm going to tell you, it's very, 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 very difficult to get that feeling inside. I still don't have that feeling inside. I am still working towards that. But it's a difficult journey to work towards that, where we do things slowly, we do things carefully, as best as we possibly can. But on the other hand, we know we have to ship. And so that's the battle that you're going to face. You have to ship it, you have to do good work, and keep going. And if you make mistakes, oh well, they're just mistakes. You keep going, you take that step forward, you correct those mistakes repeatedly. And if you have this belief inside, things are going to change. You're no longer going to feel that market pressure, and you know that you're actually going to do something good. All right, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.